Felt like a day. My name is Mighty Wereball. Welcome back to more Danganronpa 2. We're just about to start the 5th class trial as Nagito has finally bit the dust, though through some interesting circumstances, shall we say. So I'm curious to know how this is gonna play out, because there's a few interesting things came to light in the last episode. So we're gonna go straight into it. I don't see the point in prepping for anything because I have nothing I have no skills, I have nothing, so let's go for it. Proceed with the class trial. Yes, we are ready. Trial start.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave the island. Oh my, Manumi, my cute little sister, you're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon because you're a rabbit.
She looked pissed off.
Shestu!
She giving him a stank eye.
One more time. Geez, how about this one? Hora, hora, this will be my final blow. It's useless.
Please stop, I feel bad for Manumi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Manumi. The class trial has started after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up. No, that might not be it. Huh? They were trying to protect the traitor. They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait, don't tell me you're the traitor. Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry up and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or are they two different people? Dun dun dun. Torture wound, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma panels, Monokuma's account. Okay, let's see what the first lot of discussion is going to be. The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him. The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds is because the killer tortured Nagito. So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first. That was Fuyuhiko. I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone. Nagito's wounds, were they really caused by torture? But the point of torturing someone is to make them reveal information, right? Then it's pointless if he can't talk. Oh, duct tape. Torturing him, Nagito was covered in blood because he was... that one. Boom! Good start. Let's keep this trainer rolling. Okay. But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to have confessed anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that. In case they want to keep him quiet. You know, torture him, take the tape off, see if he speaks. Oh, I just realized it. It's a trap. Trap? Stupid Hajime, you got caught in that trap. Stupid? What's a trap? That's a trap. Tortured wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, spear of Gungnir. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you'd obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He got interrogated, they wanted to hide that. Well, they wanted to hide the fact that they got interrogated. Hammer and button times! Turning into... yeah. But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything? So I'm guessing duct tape is the... Pay attention, this is how it went down. First the killer tortured Nagito. Oh shit. After they killed him. Okay, I'm guessing it was that first one. I was going to go back to the original topic. Oh, I'm back here. But that was, yeah, so, okay, back to start again. Now I've got to hammer buttons. More buttons, I'm guessing. No, advance, because I got fire up ahead. Okay, but if you tape his mouth shut, yes, we all know, can't speak. Pay attention to how it went down. First, that one. Oh, wait, no! Ah! I pressed the two buttons wrong. Yeah. Are you trying? Yeah, I am an idiot. I pressed wrong buttons. I am a damn fool. Not to... I'm bad at this. Right. Third attempt. This is what I get for being so goddamn confident. I get the first answer right, and then it also goes downhill from there. Right, this time. Duct tape. Advance. I spout my bullshit. He responds. I'm just not going to touch anything. Or maybe I'll touch this one. That one. That. Is it not duct tape? Is it the second one? Or is it not duct tape? This is how it went down. No, it's not that one. Then after they killed him. There we go. Got there in the end. Good start. Good start. No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up. What did you say? Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors. We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began. Why do you always have sad with me? Do you have a crush on him or something? Are you in elementary school or something? You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember? Yeah, Kazuichi, you fool. The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape on his face was on his face before his arms were even wounded. And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around the mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape. Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture, it was to keep his mouth shut. However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity. They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito. Then are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer? If so, that's fucking crazy. Did they go psycho or something? No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence. The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence. We can't think of any other reason. But who could have done that? What evidence did they destroy, though? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse. Yeah, and right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning away from the very back. Which means, is it plausible to think that nobody here set the fire? The killer isn't one of us, but that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking. Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect. Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this. Some kind of setup? Like what? I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before. Yeah, because I reckon it was to do with the poison. He poisoned himself, but he set it up in a way so that somebody else would kill him, but it was him that kind of set up the machine, as it were. Which would technically mean Akane killed him, right? Because she was the one that kick-started the fire. So is it death by proxy? Is that what they call it? I don't know, but it could be Akane. She doesn't even realise it. That's your Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia? Alright it is. The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear that up first. The reason for the fire was the Monokuma things, right? Aye, the panels. The direct cause of the fire was... where are the panels? The oil lighter found at the crime scene, right? The killer used some kind of setup and lit the curtain on fire with the lighter. Some kind of setup. Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse? They probably just threw the lighter. Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright when the flame is lit. If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain. Some way. Maybe they used invisible thread. There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves. Perhaps opening the door. There we go. We're consenting. Go team. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire. Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. That dust devil blown here from glorious Japan. No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were lying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin. Does that mean anything? The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect. A domino effect? You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over? In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. They sure did. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second, and from there they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end. But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over? That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse so we wouldn't notice them. So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect. And one more thing, there was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right? The killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect, and it doesn't necessarily need to be visual. What was it? Music, right? Yeah, music. You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring through the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels. The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does it get like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking about the music. As if on cue, it suddenly started. That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling. But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse. It's fine. I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine. With those words, it kind of brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Huh? It's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew it. It's a trap. Seriously, just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you it'd be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? I kind of ignored their... Excuse me. I kind of ignored their protests, and with a mighty kick, the door flew open. Bam! Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel. And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter. Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks. You don't look so sure. At the time, I kinda mentioned that she could barely open the door. Because the panel was blocking it, right? But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right? Is that a problem? It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse. If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse, I see. So the problem Chiaki's talking about is... the killer couldn't have left. Which strengthens the idea that Nagito set this up. Right? If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right? Now that you mention it. Does that mean they were hiding inside? Oh, we're all outside the warehouse, you know. Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used. You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this. Huh? You don't mean... But, if that's true, this murder... Ajime, what do you mean? The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. And that'll be Buggerlugs himself, right? Nagito. Where is he? There he is. So who was he trying to trap? Is Akane the traitor? I mean, there's still a big question mark over Chiaki, but Akane was the one who kicked the door down. She was the one that set the fire, even by accident. What if it was Nagito? Why'd you bring him up? He's a victim, you know. He wasn't just a victim, maybe. Huh? Not just a victim? What does that mean? He was the victim, and he was the perpetrator too, maybe. Are you saying it was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Of course, there's the torture wounds. Are you saying those were all self-inflicted? No, that's the wrong... Oh, complete wrong voice. Ignore me. But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think? That's very true. Nagito is exactly the sort of person to do that. That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, as long as you understand. It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up. Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how you think about it, it's clearly impossible. Like he said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. What? What could I be overlooking? Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, or Monokuma panels. Alright, what's being said then? To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible. Burned rope, one of his arms wasn't tight. No, his arms was stuck with a knife. And the burned rope was the only hand that was... Couldn't do much with the free arm. It was impossible if you were by yourself. How about if you use your teeth? Or if you just use your front tail? Dirty joke. Is that a dirty joke? I look away for a brief second and I can't talk about front tails. Look. What? If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too. It's true that tying up your arms and legs by yourself is impossible, but did he really tie up both arms? No, because he had one arm was impaled. The burned. So is it that first one I'm guessing it's that first one I use. Obviously impossible. Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible. You couldn't do much with the free arm. You could by yourself. Front teeth. Dick joke. Nah, it's that front one with burned rope. That one. There we go. Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed? What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were... No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. I mean, yeah, he got the knife stuck in his hand, right enough, but yeah, the rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up. That was just burned by the fire. He should have tied up before. He should have been tied up before then. It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it. The proof that burnt rope on Nagito's arm as a trap is his sleeve, because it wasn't burnt. Right? Yeah. Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burnt at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance, so it would look like it was burned in the fire. And Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right? Yeah, that should be the case. Hajime, that's awesome. I'll let you cop a feel if you want. Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first. That's definitely wrong. Fine, I gotta use a Benjamin from him. I gotta get a Benjamin from him before I get him to touch me, right? That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know. It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. That much is obvious. Hajime, you take me. Give me back that Benjamin. Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back. The heck? Hold on, there should be a way. Then hurry up and spell it. If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest. A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this. Is there? Let me think. Torture wind, survival knife, plushie, girdle. The plushie. The plushie with the hole in it and the blood wound. Right? Even if the guy with his right hand was free. How could he stab his right hand? Because it had a hole. If the knife was jutting up out of the knife, he just let the knife fall. Could he stab his hand that way? Is he throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife, that one. Yes! Propped the knife in the bear and stabbed his own hand for whatever reason. Dude's a bit mental, so yeah. The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife. Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him, and it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie. So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand. I see. So that's the trick. But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off towards the fire's origin point. He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence. So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko? I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. That being? The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it, and his left hand was all tied up. Then, he probably took the spear first. Then as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand. There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly. Oh, there's a surprise. Who's the next person to respond to something like that? I'm sorry. I didn't catch all that. Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly. Say it one more time. I need to record it for reasons. Hey, bastard, you better cut it out. As you can tell, they're taking this case very seriously. They're clearly devastated by the loss of Nagito. Clearly devastated. Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand while your left hand is tied up. So yeah. So he had it in his left hand. That explains the blood that's not on his left hand. It didn't kill him because it didn't say that's what killed him in the Monokuma file. So you're saying it's impossible? But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else. So, the way I think this is going, I think Akane is going to be the one to be technically the killer, because she was the one that started the fire, which started the water sprinklers, which caught the gas started, and which poisoned him. So there you go. There's my theory that Akane's going to be the one to be convicted, despite the fact that she didn't know what she was doing at the time. But no matter what, I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else. I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it. You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Gah, Minomi's sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so this might be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course, that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. Fucking hell. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's impossible to figure out by myself, so let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up until now.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. Then even now. Alright, let's do this.
Oh, make your argument.
Blood on the left hand. Because that was my theory, that it was the how did Nikito stab himself with the spear. Let's work together and think this through. When the spear stabbed Nikito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right? He was only able to move his left hand, but his left hand was also tied up. Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only other way is he used his teeth. He maybe used his front. Stop talking about dicks, Akane. I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed. What are you saying? A brush and Miss Sonia is freaking awesome. Yeah, they're taking this very seriously. Nikito commits suicide and he must have used that spear to stab himself. Yeah, it's the... Aye, it's not the first one. Think about it through. Because Nikito, covered hands, his left hand, hands tied up. That one. There we go. Because, you know, in the middle of an important discussion, Akane's talking about dicks. You know, if she doesn't realise what she's talking about. Hold on, it's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know.
But there was something off about his left hand. The blood stain on the palm of his hand, don't you think it looked like somewhat strange? He only had blood in the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of the bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on the palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was Nagito's left hand doing when the blood splattered? Playing with his front tail, clearly. Gripping. His front tail, clearly. When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Perish the thought. He was obviously grabbing the spear.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right, that's the problem. Hey Chiaki, what do you think?
Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy. At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle, just like fixing an old TV.
I got it. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I thought, it's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
What section of the spear was he holding on to? He was holding on to the cord.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something. Isn't the side of the cut off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides, right, Chiaki?
I'm sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily. Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear? It seems we're stuck. Shall we have tea time? A cup of tea sounds lovely about now. At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step ahead at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first, namely where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned?
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that, that's it.
Could it be?
The spear stabbed Nagito perpendicularly, and he was holding the tip of the cord attachment. If I put those facts together, along with what we found at the warehouse, and think about it, I should be able to figure out where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. We're doing logic dive. Time to speed up the sumbitch. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. The spear impaled Nagito as he was lying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP? That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him. Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was lying face up. I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup. The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear. I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed just to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide?
I mean, he did say he would do anything for hope.
Every single wound on his body, that was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear. That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end, which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so he wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
Something tells me his sanity had long left him. He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us towards the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad? That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yep, that's our Nagito. Jeez, and I was starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I had forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? Oh, I know what his plan is. He's the ultimate lucky student, right? So he's set all this up believing, because he talked about one thing he believes in more than anything is his faith, or his ability as the ultimate lucky student. He set all this up so he could catch out who the traitor was. So does that mean Akane's the traitor? Because it was her that kicked down the door that kick-started all this bullshit. Right? Is Akane the traitor? Doesn't really make a lot of sense if she's the traitor. But if he's the lucky student, then it would happen by luck that the person he was trying to basically get to kickstart the trap would be the one he wanted to catch out. So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms about killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor. I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind his trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any one of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other, and he tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone? He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable. You were right, I suppose. Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. That bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so he'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or...
So what are you going to do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You're right. It's not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave the island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
That's okay. It's okay to say you've decided on the killer. Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec. Hold on, why? Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we've overlooked. Like who the traitor is. But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change. That's true, but the mystery isn't just about who the traitor is. Huh? No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide, but I'm a little worried, you know. I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, there's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it. Something related to Nagito's death, and it's something that he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? And here I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that even he couldn't mess with. The file, because it doesn't say what killed him. Right? There's nothing else here that it's the file, right? Yeah. Is it about the Monokuma file? Yeah, that's it. Oh, there was something suspicious in the Monokuma file. Didn't have his cause of death, even though it does say cause of death. The victim is Nagito Komeda. The body was discovered in the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. The suspicious part of the Monokuma files that Jackie is worried about is... what is it? What's hidden in the Monokuma file? Could it be? Is it something that isn't clearly written in the Monokuma file this time? Could it be? Oh god, this bullshit. Right, I'll be right back. There we go. Boring! Yes, his cause of death. In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death. Not only is it a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a large laceration on his left arm, and a knife impaled to his right hand. Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death. But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach, it is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about. Well, Monokuma?
I plead the fifth. Here it goes again. I'm so appalled I have nothing to say. But even during Gundam's case, and before doing Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too? Hold on a sec. Then are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting again that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the one who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense. Bad sense? I just remembered that his malice always defied their expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here? Huh? Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting. You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship? What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it is just to be safe. You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all. Just to be safe, huh? I guess we have no choice. If it's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, then there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait. We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be alright. That's what I believe.
Aww, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you. Huh. Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then, the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. What does he know? What's in that little bare brain of his? Class trial suspended. Monokuma and Minomi time.
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was going to start, but... Well, if you think about it rationally, there's no way it was going to happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Minomi? Hey, how much longer are you planning to sulk? Let's get along like we always do. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand the silence when you're all alone with someone else. So, Minomi and I are the bestest of friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Enough! Why do I have to be hated that much? Besides the fact that you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teensy tiny 1 millimeter bit. How sad. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know. We aren't even friends in the first place. Then as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother. It's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys. Well, there may be some demands for that. I fell for it. I totally took the man bait.
What? Anyway, that leaves it. Yeah, that's enough for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, always keep it loud, keep it heavy, and I will see you all in the next video.